I just discovered a hidden superpower you can use in Gemini to let you vibe code just using video samples. Forget just writing prompts or even using audio to write instructions for your no-code builders. All you have to do is record a screen share of your favorite app, how it works, and the user flow, and you can actually replicate it by having Gemini create a prompt for you. And the best part is you can fully optimize this prompt for whichever app builder you want, whether it's Lovable, Bolt, or even Firebase Studio. With this hack I'm about to show you, you're gonna be able to create a prompt that'll get you to your dream outcome that much faster. If that sounds interesting, let's dive right in. All right, so just in case the concept wasn't crystal clear from the beginning, I'll show you exactly what I mean here. So in this case, I'm gonna be using Loom, which is a screen share platform, but you can use whichever platform you want as long as you can actually download the video, because that video is gonna be part of our prompt input into Gemini, so you can actually quote unquote watch the video and see the entire user journey or all the elements of the app that we're looking to actually replicate. Once we have the exported video from Loom or whichever platform you're using, all we have to do is take said video, upload it to Gemini, and then we'll be able to write a prompt to quote unquote watch that video. What's cool about the Gemini feature is in AI Studio, it's pretty much free to use, so you can send quite a few different videos that are around 1 to 3 minutes long, and it'll be able to process them with no problem. The helpful thing is that Gemini has a context window as of this recording of around 1 million tokens, and apparently it won't be too long until it's around 2 million tokens. So I would imagine you'll be able to upload in the future maybe a 15-20 minute screen share recording as context as well. And our end goal here is that we're going to ask Gemini to use its Google search function to optimize the prompt it creates for either Lovable, Bolt, Replit, or whichever app builder you're using. And that's pretty much it. So let's go into an actual tactical example here. If we go into aistudio.google.com, you'll get a screen like this where you have chat, stream, video gen, and starter app. And what we care about is if we go to chat, you'll see here when you click on the plus button, one of the possible files you can upload is not just audio, but you can upload sample media as well as video. And before we actually take Gemini for a spin, we have to record the video. So what I've done ahead of time is recorded a few different looms of me going through different platforms. So let's say we want to be inspired by the features and the platform user journey of Grammarly, U.com, or ClickUp, which is a project management software. Now, we don't want to duplicate them. We just want to replicate different parts of the user journey or the experience or the user interface. So if we go back to Grammarly here, basically how I'd record the loom, and I'll share the actual looms I recorded here to walk you through exactly how I did it, is I'd go through tab by tab and say, okay, so this is Grammarly, and in this case, you can upload a new document, you can create a new document. When you upload a document, you can have some screen like this where it goes to some demo document. It tells you the score of how good it is and all the suggestions it has to make it better. You can go to version history where you can see different versions of those documents you uploaded, and then you can go to the trash where you can see where you actually deleted or discarded documents you created. You can go to your account where you can see details on your account such as your password, your email that you used, etc. You can have subscription tabs where it has 3 different tiers. In our case, we might want to change that, but in this case, I would just say everything to the loom that I see on screen. I would talk to the tab that has writing. I'll say, you know what, there's a Your Dictionary section that when you click on it, you get this pop-up. And then when you go on language settings, you can set your primary language to whatever you want. And then you can say, I want to write in a specific type of dialect. So in this case, I might say Canadian English. And then when you go to settings, you're going to have things like feature customization, where you have a bunch of toggles that let you use generative AI in different ways, like brainstorming, showing Gen AI on text selection, showing Gen AI on quick replies, and showing recent prompt history, along with some other features here and here. Now, if you have the little pointer arrow thing, it makes it, I'd say, more effective from my testing. But in general, if you just gave a voiceover while you show the screen and scroll through, it's still decently effective. And then you have a security overview, and then you just go through all the different parts that you care to show it in terms of the journey, as well as all the components here. Like when you click on your name, your profile, you get your account, sign out, support, and feedback. So imagine you do that exact same process for U.com, where you can go through and see all the different types of agents here. And when you click on a specific agent, for some of them, you can join the waitlist, while for others, you can use them right away. So if we click on compute here, and you click on new chat, so you can see here you have different pre-prompted steps here you can click to kickstart the chat, and then you can search the web, attach, You can do computing in AI mode, where you can select this thing called smart, so powerful results for any task, and then custom, where you can select any one of these models. So again, you want to go through as comprehensively as humanly possible all the features that you care to be able to migrate to your new app you're trying to put together. And it's super helpful, especially if you're trying to reverse engineer an app that's really out there. So one of the things that really inspired me is when I went on x.com, we go into the search bar here and just put Lovable, okay, and just see what pops up. So we have, this looks pretty cool. We have some different posts here. We have some people posting some demos. This is another demo. If you go back up here, this gentleman, Jonas Virtanen, seems to have created a really cool app here, where I think it's like sunrise to sunset, so simulating a day. That looks pretty cool. If I go into here, let's see if we can replicate or find the link to the actual app. So it seems like we could take something like this, record what it looks like or how it's working, and have AI try to replicate what this looks like. So this is an example of how you can start to reverse engineer other people who have also created other apps to use it as your foundation, or to use certain elements of it that you really like to adapt it to your specific app. So without further ado, let's actually take one of these for a spin. The last one I had here was ClickUp, like I mentioned before. So this one is a project management app where you have different options, different toggles, inboxes, etc. But let's go to Gemini and actually take these for a spin. So if I go here, I can go to upload file, and then we can go to Gemini vibe coding, and I'll choose the first one, the Grammarly one. So now it's going to upload the video, and because we're using Gemini 2.5 Preview Pro, this one has a very large context window, and you can see here all the specifics of what Gemini 2.5 Pro offers, but for this use case, it should work perfectly fine. One thing I'm going to click on is use Google search, because I'm going to ask it to not just create a prompt, but create a prompt optimized for something like Lovable. All right, so let's speak our prompt into existence. Okay, so you are a world-class prompt engineer with a sub-persona as an expert designer and product leader. So what I want you to do is watch this entire recording of this app, and we don't want to necessarily replicate this app, but we want to be able to write a prompt that can allow us to upload documents of our own that will go through the document and make suggestions as to what different changes we can make, not just from a copy standpoint, but how we can make the copy a lot more human-like and less robotic, since all the copy in our new platform is going to be AI generated. So go through the user journey, the features, the way the buttons are positioned, and the color schemes. And we don't want to use the same color scheme, but maybe the same types of gradients, etc., and follow the same sub features and different areas like dictionary that you're going to see to create a prompt that is ideally optimized to working with lovable.dev. So I can provide it this prompt and then copy paste it and allow it to replicate a very similar type of user journey, but for the use case that I just mentioned to you. So then we'll let it translate or transcribe that, and then we'll send that, and then it will take its time, quote unquote, watch the video, and then come back with a prompt. All right, so it took around 2 minutes, and it came up with this very comprehensive prompt written in a code block in Markdown, where we go through the different persona and then the application concept. It comes up with some new name, inspiration and constraints, and it's going through all the subcomponents it saw in that video. So if we go into here, you'll see left sidebar navigation for core and sections, dashboard view for management documents, dedicated view for document analysis, settings area for customization, features like version history and trash, and then functional focus, robotic phrasing, tone adjustment, etc. And it's going through all the other things it saw in that recording that we could use to adapt for our brand new app here. Even down to, and this is the beauty of this, all the things that if you're not a product person or a software engineer or a designer in general, you wouldn't be as thoughtful to write these constraints, which is create a profile, account, user details, name, password, linked accounts, analysis preferences, controls to tailor the analysis engine, desired formality level, target audience persona, etc. So it has some extrapolation based on what it's seen, and it's also being able to adapt certain parts of the app that it found useful in terms of the structure, the different wireframes of the user journey. So if we take this, the whole end goal, as you remember before, was to go to something like Lovable, Bolt, Replit, whatever you like, and then be able to just paste this prompt and let it just stew and see what it comes up with. And we should get a app that is much more detailed in terms of the journey, the way it's structured, the different modalities, the modals, etc., than we would if we just had a very simple basic prompt out of the box. All right, and 5 minutes later, we get something like this. And let's open up in a brand new tab. You'll see it's called Authentic Text. And you'll see it's wildly different from what we had before as our inspiration. But in terms of the foundational principles of how you should structure an app, where different subcomponents should be located, it's super helpful because here we have new and upload in terms of uploading a file, I would assume. And when you click on new, you can see here it's creating a draft of what the suggestions would be to make it less robotic, right? So in this case, we can go to quick statistics here. Obviously, this is fictitious for now. You can see different types of documents. You can go to documents. Now, is there a trash? Yeah, that's the one I was worried about. So there's history, there's templates. Obviously, there's nothing there. New document, upload file on the top right, very similar to the inspiration. When we go to settings, this is super cool because typically Lovable will start with a very basic settings that doesn't work. But at least now, because we've specified all that, we have the profile info, first name, last name, email. We have password, current, new, confirm. Now, getting this to show on a screen is the easy part. Getting this all to work and speak to Supabase very well is the hard part. If you go down to linked accounts, we have Google, Microsoft. Notice before we had just Google, and now it's able to extrapolate the next step, which is Microsoft. We have a danger zone, which is good. Delete your account. Analysis preferences, right? So check for robotic phrasing, check for tone issues. And this was all the different components that Gemini came up with, right? And then if you go back up to dictionary, remember the dictionary before? Now we have a very different type of dictionary for this specific use case. Then we have security and privacy that we were able to adapt as well. And notice all of these subcomponents that, again, if you're just starting out or you're a beginner or you're just not a product person, you wouldn't be as thoughtful about these features. But now that they're baked in from the get-go, you have a really good foundation to use as a springboard to start adding new features and, most importantly, making these functional. Now, in case you were curious, I ended up doing the exact same process for the other 2 apps we used as inspiration, and these were the results. So for the U.com inspiration, we got something like this, which allowed us to create Agent Hub that has the My Agent section to create agents, recent chats, some sample agents here that are different from the ones we saw in the actual sample. You can click on them, and then like we saw, it now does pre-prompting so that you can send a message that's already pre-drafted. We can go back. It even has the Get Pro thing, which is helpful. When you go to settings, it has similar modalities that we saw before. We saw Google Drive here and OneDrive. So this one's pretty cool. And if we go into the next one, which was the inspiration from ClickUp, which is project management, you have now a very different layout where you have recent, agenda, my work, assigned to me, manage cards, which it found useful to adapt. And then when you go to create a task, you can select from a list of tasks, have assignees, you have an inbox, coming soon, you have docs, dashboards, whiteboards. So all these obviously are non-functional. They're just kind of UI. But again, it gives you that head start that you need. And then finally, if you remember, we saw that very beautiful inspiration from X.com. So I ended up taking that one for a spin as well. And we were able to actually replicate the functionality of that app in one single prompt from Gemini. So if you click on something like graphic and you click on simulate day, it will go very similar to that inspired app from the beginning of the day to try to simulate what that would look like. Let's say sunny. And then it'll go all the way until the evening. And it has the background shift option. You can go to current weather, which obviously is not synced to an actual API for weather. But this more so shows you the power of being able to be inspired by different features and toggles that you see in other products to bring them in to your brand new product as different components you can use as a foundation. And what's cool is you can also use this as an inspiration from looking at different websites. If you love a certain company's website and you like certain parts of that website or certain ways that the menu bar looks or it displays, you can use this technique as well to be able to put into words what might be difficult even if you gave a picture, because a picture doesn't show the elegance of sliding over a hover and it showing different components. This allows you to go not from picture 1,000 words, but more so a video is really worth 1,000,000 words. And if you'd like the prompts I used to create these mockups from our inspiration pieces, I'll make them available in the first link in the description below. And you find this kind of hack and different types of hacks for vibe coding helpful, make sure to check out the second link in the description below, which is a link to my early AI adopters community, where we go through everything from prompt engineering to vibe coding to Anyden to make.com and everything you can imagine. And the last thing is, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you love vibe coding, you might want to, because my next video is going to be a masterclass that you're going to absolutely love. I'll see you next time.